I will share to you about the Eros love. In our previous episode, we are talking this love, but I explained to you the detail about this love. This love is put by God in our emotional being. Now, these kinds of love is fully uh, in attraction to the opposite sex. So that is Eros. Now, why is it that we have that kind of love? It's because Eros love is something that in our lives to be what we call this as a human being, we have to reproduce. We have to reproduce. It is like that God said to Adam. God said to Adam when God blessed Adam, God said that replenish and subdue all the earth. So replenish and subdue the world for the earth. So it means to say that in this kind of love, we have the power to reproduce. Now, what is the weakness of this kind of love? The weakness of this is lust, meaning to say, a strong desire out of control. So, a strong desire out of control. So, that is lust. That means to say, that is the weakness or the negative side of this kind of love. But the positive side of this love is uh, we have that so that we can attract in an opposite sex and we can reproduce because it is not interesting. It is not interesting for a human being without that, or especially for a husband and a wife without that kind of love attraction to opposite sex. So there is no reproduction that will happen because that is the desire, no, the desire of a husband to his wife and a desire of a wife to her husband. So that is Eros love. But the danger of this is that like building or like putting a building over an earthquake fault line. So that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Okay, so this is dangerous. This is dangerous if a man and a woman did not fear God, because there are promises of this out of this love. There are promises that can be broken. So the promises are made to be broken in this kind of love. That's why there are many promises of a man to a woman, so that the woman will be captivated of that promise of that man. So that's why many women became victims of this kind of eros love. So this kind of love must be guided or must be uh, situated in the Word of God. Must be aligned in alignment to the Word of God. Why? It's because if this is not aligned to the Word of God, it is a lustful things. So it is only lustfulness. So strong desire of a person or a strong desire of a man to a woman to have that kind of attraction. So out of control. So that's why uh, we must be guided in accordance to the Word of God. We must be guided of how to manage this in the Word of God. Okay, so as I have said, this kind of love. This is only an attraction to the opposite sex. So that is called as eros love. It is given to us so that we will have an interest or enjoyment to, for example, for a man to a woman, a husband and a wife, no? To a husband to a wife, and a wife to a husband. So that is how, that is Eros love. So it must be guided by the word of God, or else it is dangerous. It is dangerous. So in this kind of love, we must not rely on this. Okay, we must not rely on this because, as I have said, there are many promises that will made, or that will make by a man to a woman. So and then it will be broken. So that's why many women are hurt. They were hurt. So that's why they don't like any more love. They don't like any more attracting to a man because that's kind of experience that they have. So they were hurt. You know? So that's the result or the consequence. So in this kind of love, we must see to it that our heart is pure. It's because if our heart is not pure, we have a bad motive, we have hidden agenda. So that's why there are many men or women or something like that that they have wrong motive of entering love. They have wrong motive of entering love, and that is dangerous. That is dangerous. So today, in this episode, we must see to it that our love must be founded in the Word of God, must be guided in the Word of God. So this kind of love uh, is built upon the attraction. It's built upon the attraction of opposite sex. So that's why, as I have said, a man must be fearful to God and a woman must be fearful to God. Because if a man or a woman is fearful to God, then they cannot do anything that is in violation to the laws of God, the moral laws of God. That's why it is important to us to follow the moral laws, because if we follow the moral laws, then we are protected by God. We will not be in danger of some calamities or some destruction in our lives. So we must be guided and we must be protected in the Word of God if we obey the moral laws of God. So, in this episode, I will share to you that this kind of love, there are many songs, there are many poems, no? There are many songs and poems that being made because of this kind of love. There are love songs that we hear. There are love songs that being what we call the created by artists, composed by the composer. No, the singers composed the love that because of this kind of love. So there are many songs, there are many poems that being made by a man or a woman. It's because of this kind of love. So those love songs that you hear, those poems that you read in books or in a magazine, or you hear it in a TV or in a teleserie or whatever. So if you hear that kind of poems and songs, love songs, so those are eros, those are erotic. Most of them, mostly are erotic in the state of eros love. So that's why I advise to, especially to the young men, to the young ladies, that uh, don't rely on that. Okay? Don't rely on your feelings. Okay? Don't rely on your feelings. Don't rely on your attraction. For example, you have attracted to somebody, and then that is only your foundation of being attracted. So that is wrong, because as I have said, you are like building or create founding a building above the earthquake fault line. So that's very dangerous if you rely on that. So don't rely on that kind of love, the eros love, the attraction that you have. So don't rely on that. So my advice is that you must rely in the Word of God, according to Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 13, that love is pure, love is holy, love is truth, love bears all things, love conquers all fears, love rejoice the truth, did not rejoice in iniquity, love is not puffed up. So that is the direction, or that is the guidance, that is the our what we call this standard. No, that is our standard. So that not eros, no? Not in eros, not on erotic state, because if we rely on erotic states, then we will be in trouble, no? We will be in trouble along the way. So that's why I must advise to each one not to rely on that, but rely on the word of God. That is according to Apostle Paul. And also, it was also told by, or taught by Jesus to the apostles, what is the love that we are going uh, to apply. What are the love that we are going to apply in our daily lives. So that's how each one of us, we must try to follow what the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 13. That's why Apostle Paul concluded in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 13, he said that faith, love, and hope, but the greatest is love. So why is that love is the greatest? It's because in that kind of love, divine love, there is nothing malicious, there is nothing danger. All are safe, or all are in harmony, all are in success, or all are in victory, if we have that divine love, according to Apostle Paul. So that's all that I can share for today, and God bless to each one of us about this episode.